All right, good morning, everybody. As you can hear, I have shot my voice this week. I don't know if it was just the weather change, but about Thursday, I lost my voice and it hasn't come back since. So um, I just want to congratulate you. This is now the end of the discussion post section of this course. You no longer are required to do any discussion posts. It's been a real joy and a pleasure for me this semester to watch all of you, both in terms of growth and just in terms of your dedication and your effort in this course to respond to my questions and to think critically about some of these ideas. It's really been a fun course to teach, and I commend you for your effort. I commend you for just all the effort that you put in this course. And I definitely have seen, and I'm sure you've seen, just based on from your discussion posts, I'm sure you've seen some growth in terms of your knowledge about classroom management, your beliefs about classroom management in terms of your philosophy. And then what I really, really hope, and I know this is not necessarily an objective of this course and nothing in terms of online that I can really control, but I hope through your practicum experiences and through some of these other experiences that we've been able to have, for example, watching classrooms through videos, you having the experiences that you've had, having a little bit more of reflection in terms of how does this all apply. I hope and hope that you were able to walk away with some knowledge and some skills about how to better manage a classroom. So it's just been a great semester, and I thank you for that. So in terms of discussion posts, no longer needed. Now you're going to tackle your final two projects, the teacher interview assignment, classroom management, which is your final, and I'll go over those here towards the end of the video. I also want to mention that this will be my last video of the semester. At this point, there really is no need for me to come back on and have a kind of face-to-face with any of you. In terms of giving you direct instruction, it's not needed at this point. You're just independently working on these last two assignments. But I will talk about how I will support you and help you in terms of these last two assignments, other than just doing these kind of direct instruction face-to-face type lecture series. So once again, end of the discussions, great job, and this is my last video, so I'm going to wrap up kind of the semester and some of my final thoughts. So that's where I want to go next. In terms of objectives, so again, I guess my biggest worry, and I've talked to different professors about this, and I think they feel the same. We don't want you to walk away from this class feeling like I got nothing out of this class, because if that's truly the case, shame on me for not doing better. And so that's why I kind of did that midterm survey. How's the course going so far? Kind of do a little barometer of how's everybody doing? How's the course going so far? Am I doing enough to help you meet the objectives that this course is designed? So all I have to assess that is really your discussions. And through the discussions, I can see that you really do have a strong philosophy and a belief about how you would like to run your classroom. I have seen that you have critically examined some of these theories, maybe adopted some, dismissed others, changed your beliefs in terms of things that you've read, and that's great. That's the purpose of this course, is to develop your philosophy. So I can say confidently that this course, in terms of reading, and then the discussion posts and the way I've set up the course in terms of watching videos and just having kind of a reflective experience and a thinking experience truly, that you've been able to develop your beliefs and your philosophy of how you feel you will best manage behavior, instruction, and all those types of things in your own classroom. What I worry, if I'm being honest, is, because I have no way to assess that, is are you able to manage a classroom physically? Now, I know you may believe, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, for example, I'm going to have warm-ups. I'm going to do reviews. I'm going to build relationships. I'm going to do all these various things that we've talked about in this semester to try to ensure a safe and productive classroom, to try to ensure a classroom with a smooth flow of progression from beginning to end, a classroom that minimizes disruption, and a classroom that has engaging instruction, which again are the four purposes of classroom management. How that actually applies and plays out into the field is where I worry, and where I maybe want to do a little bit more with this class in the future. So in terms of that, I'm hoping that through your practicum experiences, through your field experiences, maybe through other experiences that you're having, that what I was able to teach you this semester through the readings and through our discussions have actually been able to be even more enhanced in terms of your learning in the classroom and in the field. And I hope you feel like you've walked away a little bit more confident and a little bit more efficacious, so to speak, on how you're going to handle managing a classroom. Because I can say, and I think we all agree, if we don't have that as a foundation, if we aren't managing our students well, nothing happens after that. We can't instruct, we can't teach, nothing moves forward until we learn how to manage our classes really well. So in terms of that, I could just say that I have given you everything I've got, by reading your discussions, by trying to be an active participant, by giving you certain experiences that are hopefully beyond the scope of what a asynchronous class can do in terms of an online setting. And my hope and prayer again is that I did as much as I possibly could to help you grow and help you become the best classroom manager that you possibly can be. Now, as a final note, one thing I kind of want to encourage you on, just because we talk about classroom management in the sense of, as we've talked in this course, being effective and how can we be effective and what is effective in terms of theoretical understandings and research that's already been done. At the end of the day, it's human on human interaction. It's building relationships. It's people. And there's a lot of theories out there, but theories also may not work in certain situations. So I guess as a final note, I want to mention that there are definitely some, what's the way I can put it? I guess there's definitely, when we talk about art and science, there's definitely a science to doing classroom management. There are definitely some things that you just absolutely do. You should absolutely have your kids engaged from bell to bell. And there are strategies that you can use, like a bell ringer and an exit ticket and things like that, and various activities where you chunk your classroom instead of constantly having one mode of instruction. Those are types of strategies that really work and ensure a smooth progression of events, minimize behavior, a safe classroom, on and on and on. So there's definitely a science, and I hope that that's what you were able to learn in this class, the science of managing a classroom. But there's also an art too, and the art really comes from you. How are you going to establish positive, effective relationships with students? How are you going to help them trust you? How are you going to help them engage in your classroom? And those are things, some soft skills sometimes that just aren't taught, that just need practice. So being a classroom manager, as a final wrap up here, I would just say be patient with yourself. Are you going to struggle at times with managing your classroom? Absolutely. I have a fourth period class right now that I'm struggling with, that I have some students in that class that don't want to be there, they don't want to learn, and it makes it difficult for me to teach the class when they're there distracting other people. And so, you got to deal with that. You got to work with that. And it may take, a month or two to get a class to where you want them to be. It may take administrative support. Sometimes you may work in a school where you don't have administrative support, and you may not even have parental support, and that becomes an issue. And so I just want you to recognize that these are things that are going to happen, but I don't want you to walk into your future classrooms with the false expectation of, I'm having problems with behavior, so I must be ultimately a bad teacher or a bad classroom manager. That's not the case. Sometimes classroom management takes time to change culture and to shift culture from what a school has developed or what your class has developed, and to try to change the culture to make it to what you want it to be and what you feel, and collectively what the students feel are a productive way of doing things. So as a final wrap up, I just want you to be patient with yourself. Please understand that classroom management takes time. There are definitely things you need to do right off the bat at the beginning of the year to set a great tone. But then to maintain that tone, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you have great days, sometimes you have bad days, and that's okay. That's a normal part of the process, and I want to reassure you of that. There's some research out there where first-year teachers, they plateau at about November, just so excited about being that teacher, and then they go through this what's called disillusionment phase, where they're just overwhelmed and they know this is not what they were expecting, and there's all these what ifs and crazy thoughts that go through a first year teacher's mind according to this research, and then they kind of plateau again back in April. And I think classroom management is a part of that. I don't think we prepare you enough to recognize that, it is what it is. You may have good classes, you may have struggle classes, you may have a variety of different classes, and this course was intended to give you strategies and theories and ideas about how to tackle those various situations to be successful, so that you can fulfill, again, those four purposes: a safe classroom, a productive classroom from beginning to end, a classroom that's engaging, and a classroom that has minimal disruptive behaviors. So there again is my soapbox. So my final thoughts for you as you move forward now, on to other semesters, and eventually on to graduation, and then eventually into the field. So to wrap up on this video, let's talk about your last and final two assignments. The teacher interview is this week, so that's all you have to do this week. We kind of set that up to where All you have to worry about is going out and interviewing a teacher. Maybe some of you already have. So in terms of what I want as a report, I do not want, I've seen this in other professors, and I just think this is childish for me. You're a college student, and I just feel like the writing should be a little bit more advanced, so to speak. So the whole purpose of this is not for you to go have an interview, write down, I asked this question, they said this. I asked this question, they said this. That's not what I want. What I want is for you to highlight what you thought was the most important aspects of that conversation. And this is really take the time to talk with this teacher and say, hey, here's what I'm considering in terms of how I would manage my classroom. What do you think? What do you do? What works? And really get down to some nitty gritty, because this is your final opportunity to either change your philosophy or really reinforce what you think is going to work well by talking to someone who's been doing this for quite some time, a veteran teacher, and also a teacher that hopefully is very successful at managing their classrooms. Please don't go talk to someone who has classroom management problems. They're not going to help you. So that first part of the report, and I put this under the assignment section in Web Campus. So if you go there, you'll see the submission for the 2 assignments, and then you'll see under there a couple exemplars. So the teacher interview exemplar, what I want in the first half of the paper is just kind of a summarization of what the interview was and some of the main ideas that seem to pop out of there. And so just report, teacher said this, quote them, paraphrase what they said, and just really summarize and succinctly really the main points and the main ahas of that interview. And then the second half, I want you to reflect on those. Reflect on if your beliefs have changed, if they've been strengthened, if what you heard from the teacher connects to what you've learned in this class in terms of theories. And just give me a really solid reflection and be really metacognitive about how that interview has strengthened you and how that interview has helped you better understand how to manage a classroom, because that's really the purpose of the assignment. So hopefully there are not any concerns there. Now, if there are, since I really want to make this class a lot more support, I guess, I'm trying to use the right word. I want to support you as best as I can. So my cell phone number is on the syllabus, I believe. If it's not, I'm more than welcome to put that on Web Campus as an announcement. You can Skype with me this week. You can call me on the phone this week. I can't meet you at campus because we don't have I don't have class on Wednesday, and usually that's when I'm there. So one of those two, call me, Skype me if you're having issues, or just shoot me an email in terms of this teacher interview assignment. If you are done, submit it. Submit it as quick as possible. I'm hoping that by next week, Friday, that you should have all your teacher interview papers back, and I'll give you a lot of comments and feedback on terms of what you're thinking and how the interview went. So that's the teacher interview assignment. Again, if you have questions, let me know. All right, now the classroom management assignment, because after this teacher interview assignment, you're going to have a few weeks to really hash this out and work it out. Now, same situation. If you want to meet with me on campus on a Wednesday evening or a Wednesday afternoon, usually that's when I'm there. I don't like to go there any other day simply because that just takes time away from my family. So I'm there face-to-face on Wednesday if you want to chat with me face-to-face and set up an appointment. And I'm okay leaving Cheyenne at 2 o'clock and heading straight to UNLV. And I have class at 7 on Wednesday night and staying from 2 to 7 to talk with anybody that needs me. I'm totally okay with that. What else? You can Skype me and we can talk about, if you want to Skype me, shoot me an email. Hey, I want to Skype. I'll give you my Skype address and we can Skype. You can, again, call me on the phone and any of those types of things. The other thing I'm more than willing to do is if you feel like, a couple weeks from now into November, maybe right before Thanksgiving, you have your paper, classroom management, at least draft finished, and you want to submit it to me maybe for some feedback. Don't submit it in Web Campus because that'll be your final grade. But shoot me an email. Hey, here's my draft. Tell me what you think. I'm more than willing to give you some feedback before you put in a final submission. So I'm hoping those things will support you in terms of this last assignment and help you be successful here at the end of the semester. So that's it. That's all I have for you. If there are any questions or concerns, as always, please email me or call me. On a second note, in terms of grades, I've noticed this week Web Campus seems to be throwing my grades off. I have no idea what's going on. I've been trying to get a hold of tech. You should, at this point, if you have done everything well and have gotten full credit on all the assignments and discussions and things like that, you should have 240 points. I've noticed some of you have more than 240 points. Some of you may have less than that. And if there are errors and you feel like you've done everything, please address them with me so that I can make sure I get those finalized by the end of this week and that you have an accurate depiction of where you're at in terms of a grade this semester. And then the last 2 assignments will finish you up, and you should have a total of 400 points by the end of this semester. I'm just going to do an average, however many points out of 400, and that'll be your final grade. Again, it's been a great semester. I hope, again, as I sit here on the other end, I just hope that you were able to get as much out of this semester as you have wanted to. If not, again, feel free when we come to that course evaluation at the end of the semester to give me and UNLV some feedback about how we can improve in terms of this course. But again, it's been a great semester. I appreciate all of you. It's been fun teaching you, and I look forward to your last 2 assignments and how I can help you through these last 2 assignments be the best classroom manager that you can be. So again, it's been great. This will be my last face-to-face video, at least in terms of direct instruction, and I look forward to seeing your last 2 assignments.